Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Women Emerge with Mellisa Lambert, a show that shines a light on spiritual growth, health, purpose, and financial education. It's time to emerge and begin to live out your dreams, walk into your destiny, while making a difference in the lives of many.
Welcome to Women Emerge with Dr. Mellisa Lambert. I am your host, and it's always an honor and a pleasure to come before you another Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Wow, I'm excited about this conversation because it's about to get deep, y'all. It is. We're in the midweek. This is a boost of wisdom, faith, and real life strategies. I am your host again, Dr. Mellisa Lambert, H.C. And y'all already know, we are coming to you with real information, relevant information, and information that will root you into who you are as an individual. The goal is always for you to grow. Today's conversation will be bold, y'all. We're talking about love, money, and your own demise. We're digging into what successful dating really means, how to build a successful relationship, what a healthy relationship looks like, the role of trust, communication, and money, and yes, what we mean by trust and also demise. We're at this place where I feel that not only myself need to discuss this, but I wanted to bring an expert. She's an expert in her own right, in her own over 30 plus years, being in the mental wellness as a therapist. You know, she has been doing an outstanding job in her community with her company Agent of Change, as well as now Bertha White. To help us unpack all of this, I am honored to welcome Dr. Bertha White, a powerhouse leader and true agent of change. She is equipped to help families and communities with practical tools for wholeness, legacy, and also understanding of your mental state of mind. When we speak about this type of conversation, I wanted to make sure we have someone that can grab us and give us the information as needed. So please welcome to the show. She's not a stranger to us. She's now family, y'all. Please welcome Dr. Bertha White. Welcome, ma'am, to the show.
Thank you, Miss Mellisa. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Y'all better grab a pen and paper, get your journal, tell a friend to tune in because this information is going to be deep. So I'm going to go right into this conversation, Dr. Bertha. But before I even go into this first question, for those listeners who have not listened to us and had listened to you in your last podcast last month, can you give us a little bit background of who you are, what you do, and how your expertise can actually help this conversation on today?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I am a CEO and founder of a mental health agency. I've been in private practice for 15 years, and my practice is located in my agency, Agent of Change. There, I offer clinical therapy to individuals, families, couples, and groups. I also am the founder and CEO of Bertha White. With Bertha White, I take mental health education, support, and training outside of the walls of traditional therapy to the masses, and that would be, organizations, colleges, universities, police departments, larger organizations, and smaller communities as well. And so it is always a blessing for me to be able to speak to you and the listeners and anyone about the good news of good mental health. So, that's pretty much who I am and what I do and who I serve.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service. and for continuing serving us truly on purpose. So as we dig deeper into this conversation, again, our topic on today is love, money, and your own demise. We're going to just dig deeper into a couple of questions that I wanted to ask of you to help us kind of do some clarity with. What is successful dating, Dr. Bertha, and how do we define it in today's culture, and what makes dating truly successful?
Successful dating really centers around a few key points, a few key principles, if you will. First, you want to make sure that you go into a relationship with self-worth, knowing your self-worth. You take that into the relationship. That's step number one. Then a successful, kind of dating scene, if you will, is based on being authentic, be honest, know your values. What is it that you consider to be an asset and what's a deficit? Know these things, going in, maintain these things, and that will help to develop a successful dating arena. Communicate very clearly. Listen just as actively. Express yourself. Be on the lookout for signs of disrespect. Do you feel respected? Are you responding respectfully? Be considerate. Always seek consent. These are key principles in a healthy relationship. And remember to have fun and don't rush. That's where we get tripped up at. Successful dating includes the principle of not rushing. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Be willing to get to know each other. Be honest with each other. Be genuine with each other and go lockstep. Those are keys of successful dating. Now, when we add in culture and belief, successful dating in a successful relationship, datingship, if you will, there's been conversation about cultural differences and, differences in belief systems. And there's an understanding that shapes the way they communicate. This is successful. Now we know how to shape the way that we communicate. I know what my gender role is here. I know what to look for in terms of family enmeshment and involvement in our relationship. A successful dating, space would include knowing where public displays of affection is okay and where it isn't okay. All of these factors have been discussed and are honored in a successful dating space, which leads you into a very good and healthy relationship. But culture and beliefs most definitely influence the dating space.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like even when you say that, I think back about one of my relationships and how the cultural differences it was, I'm from the background, even though I was raised here in America, my background is Jamaican. My previous relationship was raised and born in West Africa, right? Two different culture, two different belief system in a sense of, I'm Christian, the other person was Catholic, but they still believe in God and honoring God because their family, some part of their family were also Christian, of Christian faith. But it's also it was a big cultural shock for me and a big cultural shock for that person. And you're right. So we have to put into consideration both sides. And some people are okay with dating outside of their culture or dating outside their race, as long as you understand that. And I think that is a big thing, Dr. Bertha. And I like how you said, don't rush, enjoy. That's the biggest thing right now, especially when you're at my age, in your early mid-40s. You're like, oh, that word "don't rush" is kind of foreign to me because I need to rush, right? So how do you talk about? How do you kind of address a situation where someone in their late, like this lady said to me, I'm going on another conversation, but I'm going to go back again, to just where we were just at. She said, I am 62 years old. I don't think no one is out there for me. She looked at her age and not understanding. Even I saw a couple in Pennsylvania. I think they were in their 100 plus, just getting married. They met in the senior citizen facility, right? So how do you speak on those who say, I don't got time to rush, or someone that says, I'm too old to be in this dating arena? Like, how do we speak to something like that?
Well, in terms of I don't have time, let me just say rushing through causes you to miss steps. And so no, you do not want to rush through finding the mate for you. And also, I'm too old, says who? We're never too old to be loved or give love.
Come on.
That's what I would say to that person who says, no, I'm too old to be in the dating scene and so on and so forth. I get the nonsense, the situationships that are out there, and, folks that are out there for all the wrong reasons trying to grab what is good. I understand not wanting to be involved in that. But, as an older person wanting to be in a relationship, you have to weed that out. And I would just say, love is available. Love is out there. You're never too old to love.
I love that. Dr. Bertha. It's amazing how, people can put themselves in their own box and be in their own way. So as we continue, what is a successful relationship? What key elements separate lasting relationships from those that eventually fail apart?
Mm-hmm. Well, what we know is a good relationship is built on these key qualities: trust and honesty and open communication. And sometimes that scares people because we're afraid of how the person is going to respond to what we say. But a good relationship leaves space for you to be open, honest, and vulnerable, knowing that you're not going to be judged. That's in a good relationship. Those are key factors in a good relationship. There's mutual respect, there's support, and encouragement. And also what you're going to find in a good relationship is a real balance. Sometimes people get into relationships and forget the individual. Well, in a relationship, you bring the best of the individual into the relationship. So in order for you to be the best of yourself, don't forget yourself. Continue to feed yourself. You are an individual as well as you are in a relationship. So a good relationship feeds both. The individual doesn't lose themselves. They bring the best of themselves to the relationship. There's also setting boundaries and being safe and compromising. Good relationships include the ability to compromise. You are not always going to be right. It is not always going to be your way. Oftentimes it won't seem 50-50. But a good relationship is built on compromise. And just as an example, if you're in a relationship and you are trying to compromise, you're both bringing, your information about the decision that needs to be made, and you decide to go with partner number one's, choice, route. And as it turns out, that route was the wrong route. In honest compromising and in a good relationship, partner number two doesn't say, see, I told you so. When you compromise and you come to a decision, the decision is made with support and agreement. If the decision fails, there is no I told you so. There is coming back to the table, gathering your information, compromising, and going with another decision. So compromise is critical in a good relationship. Again, there is being authentic and there is commitment. Just because things fall apart doesn't mean that's the end of the thing. when things fall apart and there are challenges, you go through your process, you go through your healing, and you do not forget you're doing this together because you're committed. Those factors are encompassed in a good relationship. Those are key qualities of a good relationship.
I love that. I love it. I mean, and I love how you brought in the key element: trust, honesty, and open communication. And as you even shared that, I think about what I look at in a key marriage that normally allows marriage to fail. When you don't have, I kind of reversed it last week. I said, what, the first thing you have to have is a praying life in your marriage. You have to have a belief in God, and you both are on the same path. I remember you sharing a story with me, and I commended you, the type of woman you are, the way you listen and you take heed, and you just you both, you and your husband work. I mean, again, I say no one is perfect, but I like the way you work hand in hand with certain situation. When you shared that, I was like, that is what it looks like. And even when it happened, it's like you was like, oh, okay, and I like how you flow with certain circumstances, especially in your relationship. So when I think about even the same key elements, I also think about what elements are missing in relationship that causes us to fail, causing us to divorce, causing us to separate. One, a prayer life. Two, when I think about it, I think about, people not really communicating, like you said. They're not open to communicate. And if you're not open to communicate, how can you trust me? And three, if I can't trust you, how can I even open up my money to you to show you what I'm making and what I'm building and what I want to build? And four, you don't know my love language. So you can't make me feel the way I want to feel, or, you can't, reciprocate, because you may be thinking that I like to gift, but I don't like gift. I love affirmation, words of affirmation, right? So you don't know that, and I always believe that when we understand these guidelines, prayer, communication, trust, money, and also learning your love language, when you have all those things encompassed together and you master those key elements, I really believe that can be a part of a successful relationship / marriage. What is your thoughts on that, Miss Bertha, Dr. Bertha?
Absolutely. There are a top 5 list that will break a marriage, a relationship, and absolutely trust, communication, and money are at the top. Because let's break it down a little bit. When we try to consider how trust is a crucial role in shaping a relationship and shaping financial decisions in a relationship. All of this, everything that we're talking about, is number one, based on honesty and open communication. And trust. We have to trust. But what does it mean to trust someone? Before we get into, money matters, I have to trust you. You should trust enough before you move into the money matters, in developing a relationship, not in a relationship, but in developing a relationship. Is there trust before you get to that point? And so when we talk about trust, Miss Mellisa, let's define what it is that we mean by trust. And this meaning here is the willingness to be vulnerable and place confidence in another's integrity, their dependability. You're going to know the risk. You're going to know that, their intentions are positive and fair. So key components of trust: vulnerability, knowing that it's a risk; integrity, ability, dependability, and positive intentions. And so you build trust by consistency, being consistent. If I say I'm going to do it, and I continually do it, you can trust that I'm going to do it. Be honest, keep your promise, and communicate openly. All of those are definitions or components of true trust. Now bring that definition into financial decisions in a relationship. True trust, what it means to truly trust. Bring that into what this picture looks like for your your financial discussions in your relationship. Is there open communication? Now, that scares people.
It does.
What if what if you're the partner that's a frivolous spender and don't know your credit report? What if you're the partner that knows the importance of earning a dollar and saving a dollar and investing a dollar and moving that dollar into your future? That's you, but your partner is a frivolous spender, doesn't know their credit report, and is embarrassed to say so. Not that they don't want to do better, but maybe they're embarrassed to say so. How is that going to impact your financial decisions? So you need to know in your relationships if your goals and values align. How do you define? How do you look at having or not having funds, a flow, a financial flow, or financial solvency? Is this a part of your language? Do we value the same thing? And being accountable. Not everybody wants to be accountable with with their spending. That's how you get so many couples with a joint account and an individual account. Because I want my own and I want to be able to spend it freely. But the responsible part of that is still having the joint account, the family account, if you will, where money is funneled in and all of the financial matters are taken care of. Then you have your individual stash over here that's just for you, and you can spend the way that you want to spend without there being a deficit to the couple, to the home. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And this type of trust in communication about money and relationships really does reduce anxiety. It reduces conflict. When you feel comfortable talking about money matters, and you feel comfortable discussing money matters when there is love, when there is trust, and when there is clear communication in your relationship. You can get on the same page and stay on the same page. You can work with and through each other's deficits and build each other up, so that there is balance where finances are concerned in a relationship.
Yes. Ooh. Again, you're tuned into Women Emerge with Dr. Mellisa Lambert, and we do have our special guest here, Dr. Bertha White, and we are having that conversation today. And I believe that we needed this conversation, Dr. Bertha. So many of us, are in, relationships, and we're in, going up and down these relationships and not knowing where to turn, what to do, how to do it, and I'm so thankful that we can come together today just to have a dialogue to talk about just love, money, and our own demise, and bring some stuff in front of us so we can have that aha moment as, this is what I'm going through, but I know by hearing Dr. Bertha, I can learn how to be more open in my communication, to be more honest to my partner, to be able to let my partner trust me because I am showing them that I am trustworthy. Right? These are things we still don't, we know, but we don't practice on a daily basis, Dr. Bertha. So I love how we're really digging deeper into this topic on today. So what does a healthy relationship look like? I know we talked about some of it earlier, but what signs shows couples they are on the right track in love, trust, and even money? I know we touched a little bit on it, but I want you to elaborate a little bit more.
Okay, so just as a reminder, some of those key qualities that we were talking about in a good relationship starts with trust, honesty, and good communication. Not everyone can communicate very well, but this is a matter of use your words, not your actions. Because we can misunderstand what someone's actions are. So just being comfortable, learning to be comfortable in expressing how it is that you feel and what it is that you think in honesty. And that said with respect, so that's key. Now understand, you may not always like what someone has to say when they're communicating with you. Our job is to validate. That doesn't mean that I agree to what you're saying. It means I heard you. I get it. I get how you can, you put this and this together. I'm listening to you. So, work on and develop good communication skills and honesty in the way that you communicate, the way that you represent yourself. Now, that's not always easy to do because we are afraid of how the other is going to perceive our honesty and how they're going to react to our honesty. So in a good relationship, the other knows the importance of creating a clear path for you to be honest with them. The other understands the importance of receiving you and what it is that you're saying, and they're not going to judge. They're not going to belittle. They're not going to shame, and they're not going to guilt. So good communication, this is the foundational piece. Trust, communication. Trust and communication. That's how you move into this thing that we call love, okay? Now, let's back up and try to define love. Since we're talking about love, we've thrown this word love in the conversation several times. We're talking about, take your pick, deep care, connection, warmth, understanding, trust, compassion, intimacy, commitment, trust again, mutual respect, selflessness, giving, protected, accepting, connected. However you want to define love. Make sure it's a mutual definition in your relationship. Make sure your definition of love is mutual. I don't mean a clone. I don't mean we're, necessarily that my show of love is the exact same as your show of love, but our show of love is accepted as passion. It is accepted as a connection. It is accepted as understanding. It's different, but we both accept it as that, as love. Just taking the time to get to know each other. Don't rush, because when you rush, you miss steps. And so, again, in that good relationship, these are the things that you're working towards. And just be honest with yourself. When I said earlier, know your self-worth, know who you are. We don't always know who we are or know our self-worth going into a relationship. And so, be mindful that it's time, if you haven't done so already, to put yourself first. Understand you. Give yourself some of the best of you. Develop and grow and evolve so you can take that into a relationship. Because if you don't, what you end with is demise. All of these losses, the loss of self-respect, the loss of worth, the loss of confidence, that's the demise. the death of. That's what I'm talking about when I say the end of something. Demise, when I say demise, I'm talking about the end of it, the end of confidence, the end of it. So it is important, again, work on you and make sure you're good enough for you before moving forward. Be okay with you. The right person will come along. Just work on you so you're ready to receive it.
Wow. I love that. And that, even that statement, the right person will come along in the process while you're waiting. Work on you. That's why I'm so thankful. I'm excited about this 21-day journey that I'm going to be going on with these wonderful ladies who are single. You know, I'm doing my 21-day prayer journal, which is, you know, praying for my future husband in the next 21 days, starting October 1st. And, you know, I always say, while wait, pray. While wait, pray. While wait, seek God, and, you know, for the direction that you need, because you don't want to pick up every and anybody. You know, and I always say, when you know, one thing I was looking at, I'm thinking about a client the other day, and my mentor said something to me. He said, Mellisa, just think about it. The way that a person do anything is the way they do everything. So that can be a pattern. So I always look at what pattern is this person portraying every time I speak to them. And I'm I'm a type of person that I will look at your body language. If you scratch your nose twice in a conversation, the next day I will look and see if you scratch that same specific nose area again. And I will, or if you do if you rock all the time, I will now make a note of that, because that means that's what you do all the time, right? So I love the fact that you're saying to us, as you wait, work on you, because that's not what we're doing right now. We're just so forcing that. I want to be loved. I want to be in a relationship. Okay, we get it. But in the process, while you're waiting, wait on God to send you that person. But in the process, take care of you. Self-care, you know, work on your mental state of mind, work on your finance, work on your health, work on you. So when that person comes, they don't find a broken self. They find someone that's whole. And even as you were talking, I don't know why this dropped in my spirit. I kept on hearing when we say relationship, and I was stressing ship. And I said, the Spirit of God that's dropped in my spirit, look at these words that end with ship. You have leadership, you have relationship, you have friendship, you have stewardship, you have partnership, you have ownership, you have membership. At the end of all these words are the word ship. When you think about a ship, Dr. Bertha, it floats on this in the ocean, or in, you know, for some people, if they do a small boat, they're going on a lake, whatever, you know, around their country. Like we have a lake here in it's like a lake or river, whatever you call it, and there's a little boat that carries us from one city to the next. That's not even a ship, that's a boat. But when you're going on a Carnival cruise line, or when you're going on Royal Caribbean, or my favorite Virgin Voyages, you know, you are going on a big ship, okay? And this ship is a massive thing that people can get on, Dr. Bertha, and also when they dock, they can get off. So know the ship that you're on. Like, you know, that relationship, if it's not working, get off the ship. You know,
and I call that ship a situationship. That one is a situationship.
Dr. Bertha, get off the situationship, okay? Get out, you know. And that's the thing. We sit there and we sink the ship. We be in the ship and we be like, I'm away. Like I remember my previous marriage. I used to tell my friend, girl, I'll be counting down. I got 16 more years. I got 17. No, I would say I have 18 more years. I got 17 more years. I got 15 more years. They're like, what are you counting down? I said, that's the time Chelsea will be 18 and I can leave. So one of my friends heard me say that, right? And she said, Mellisa, you know that you can get off, you can get out, right? This is a jail that you put yourself in, but you have the key to get out. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. I literally was holding myself hostage in this relationship that the ship was already sank down all the way down where I couldn't have no oxygen at all. I couldn't even, I was drowning, okay, in that ship, in that relationship. And I had to, somebody had to bring me oxygen to tell me, Mellisa, open your eyes. Open your hands, lift your hands, take this oxygen I'm giving you, or this life jacket, or this life, what's that thing, that big circle one? What's that big circle one?
Yeah, you're right. That's a shame.
The safe thing. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Take it. Open your hands and grab it, because you can get out. You can get out, and when she said that, it really it opened up my understanding that, Mellisa, you have the power to get out. So I say to those listeners, Dr. Bertha, that is listening to us right now, you have the power to get out. You have the power to work on what you're in right now. You have the power to work together to save what you have, regardless of the matter. Either if you're going to go stay in it, work on it, or get out of it. Remember, at the end of the day, Dr. Bertha, they have to know they have the power in all this matter.
Absolutely. I mean, it can make the difference between a functioning and thriving relationship or a functioning and dysfunctional relationship with massive losses and demise. Let me say that one more time. It can be the difference between functioning and thriving in a relationship, or functioning in a dysfunctional relationship with demise and plenty of loss. Everything you said makes the difference.
Makes a difference. Wow. Whew, this is good. I love this type of conversation. So as we continue, Dr. Bertha, the role of trust. We talk about the word trust. And when I want to go back a little bit, because you said something. We talked about trust and we talked about communication, and you said that it builds on your love. And what I took from all the conversation that you were sharing a few minutes ago, I wrote above trust and communication, I wrote understanding. Because if we don't understand each other, then the trust won't be there. If we don't understand each other, we really are not communicating openly. If we don't understand, trust, and communicate openly with each other, the love will die. So let's go into the role of trust, communication, and I'll talk money all day when it comes to relationships. Why are these three pillars so critical in relationships?
Because this is how these pillars are present in the relationship throughout the life of the relationship. That's why it's a pillar. It's meant to hold the relationship throughout the life of the relationship. You have to put our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in there as a pillar. But you know what I'm saying? These things that we just talked about are pillars. And that's why it's important to have, be very clear that there is trust. You do trust and you are being trusted. And be very clear that you can feel comfortable communicating, just talking about what you're thinking and talking about what it is that you're feeling. And the person that you're talking to is giving you at least a few seconds to develop your thoughts before they break in and so forth. You're able to communicate, and especially about difficult matters. Finances is the number one. The financial picture is number one. Those, again, are foundational pieces. They help you. This foundation helps you to determine what your future goals are going to be in this relationship. These pillars, these 1, 2, 3, help you to determine what the future of this relationship is going to be. Do those goals align?
Wow.
Am I looking for, Do I want to purchase a home? Do I want to invest? What do I want to, invest in? How do you feel about budgeting for vacations? What does a retirement plan look like? Do the financial goals align? Are there shared goals and values? If not, that's a problem. When we're talking about trust, love, communication, and finances, these things matter. Again, it's tough to hold yourself accountable when no one is around to make you do it.
True.
And so if I have a couple dollars in my account and I'm going to spend my money frivolously, or there's the family fund and I know I can pull, this amount of dollars out of it because my check tomorrow is going to beat this check to the bank. You're hoping that the money your check beats the bill to the bank. Where do you fall with being accountable? How well do you disclose your financial picture? Are you being transparent and accountable? All of these are factors that matter when we're talking about trust, when we're talking about communication and love and money. Again, we want to just reduce the anxiety and the conflict, but we got to be able to support financial pictures, financial decisions. You want to be able to make joint decisions when it comes, to your financial picture. So with all these pillars, again, trust, communication, money, love, carry you throughout the relationship. Now, that's not to say that it can't change. If it's not going, if what you're doing isn't effective and is not contributing itself positively to the relationship, you can still fix this. You can still alter. Change is very, very possible, very relevant, very needed to evolve. And so if that is you and you need to, take a look at yourself and revamp and reorganize and talk to your partner and let it burn as you say it, because it won't feel good, and you want to redirect this thing, that is very possible because these pillars they're with you throughout your entire relationship. So again, it can mean the difference between functioning in a healthy and thriving relationship or functioning in a dysfunctional relationship with demise and loss.
Wow. And I mean, one of the things that I can say, being a financial consultant, Dr. Bertha, is I see how many married couple don't even know each other's financial whereabouts. You find that a lot of hidden accounts. You find the lack of trust because of control. One party like to control everything, and the other party is just like, well, whatever, I'm gonna do my own thing. There's no togetherness, right? And that's, I like how you said the word. Do your financial goals align? Yes, you may not start out in alignment because, you're so happily in love and you're, I just love this is my boo. And you may start out that way and you say, you know what? Oh gosh, I think we need to have kids. Let's start having a family. Now 1 popped out, 2 popped out, 3. And now we're now building a family. Oh, I think we need to get a house. Now throughout life, now your finances, you're literally building like your financial alignment together in that point. But when will you sit at the table to look at each other's account and see what's going in and out, what's going out? Well, how can we build together? What can we do together? How can we not have opportunity lost? I heard a story of someone the other day, after me sharing all that I share about infinite banking and sharing how, if you don't control anything, if you don't control it, you don't own it, right? I always say that, our goal is to show people how to control the banking function in their lives. That's the goal, right? And, this person said, oh, I understand. This same person that say they claim they understand, dropped over thousands of dollars into a vehicle that if they wanted to do that anyway, they could have just reroute that to their infinite banking through their policy, still borrow that money while their money is sitting in their policy growing anyway. They still operated where they use other people's money, which is they collateralize their death benefit to buy that vehicle. And and even when I say these things, it sounds foreign to people, but guess what?
Yes.
Same concept. It sounds foreign to them, but guess what? Every other race is using that except for our race. They are learning how to build a banking function where they're controlling it and they are owning it. So when I hear the word, is your financial goals aligned? Many people that are married, engaged, or dating, they don't even talk money because it's like a taboo or something like that.
Yes.
But they spend it. They don't talk it, but they spend it. Oh, let's go on vacation. Okay. So in my mind, when I do get married, the first thing is we're going to go on vacation. When are we going to go on vacation? Oh, let's plan it. Let's move that money that we're going to go on vacation, put it through our bank. When we're ready for this vacation a year from now or 6 months from now, we're going to borrow from our own bank while our money's still sitting there growing, and then go on vacation. So I believe, Dr. Bertha, that the problem with today's society when it comes to money management and money conversation or financial alignment is that we're not educated enough to understand what the truth about money is. That's the blind spot that's really causing us to lose the opportunity that could be ours, but we give it away because we don't know.
What a relevant statement. And it affects it very relevant. You don't understand, the function of money or how to make money function for you. Yes, you're right. And that causes a complete breakdown.
Yep. It does. It does. Again, you are tuned into Woman Emerge with Dr. Mellisa Lambert. I have none other than Dr. Bertha White, and we are talking, y'all, love, money, and your own demise. And Dr. Bertha is going in, y'all. So I hope you're catching on and you picking up what she's putting on the table. And if you're not picking up what she's putting on the table, please go back and listen to this over and over again until you get it, because our goal is to see that you are in a healthy relationship for yourself first, for you first, and then for the other party. Because what the problem in these relationships, Dr. Bertha, is they put the mask on everybody else around them except for themselves. So as we wrap up, Dr. Bertha, I want to kind of have you kind of close. Can you kind of talk about the demise, because that's one of the things that we didn't touch on. Can you touch on how can couples overcome it, or does it usually lead to always demise? Like, how do we overcome or handle the demise that we actually bring onto ourselves?
So when I say demise, our working definition is going to be the end of something. The extinction of something. It no longer exists. And so demise in a relationship would be the extinction of trust. Now we're at mistrust. Now we're at, suspicion. We're at resentment. We're at distance. This is what happens in the demise. Okay? All of the love and the good and what's needed to help a relationship flourish is gone. It no longer exists. So that's what I mean when I say demise. And again, can this be fixed? The couple would have to be willing to do that, because it's going to take, honesty and consistency. Honesty and consistency to fix any of these principles, any of these key qualities, that are broken in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Fixable? Well, yes, but both parties play a part. Now, there is for one person to be honest, to show effort, because your words, "I'm sorry, I'll do things differently," are really empty without actions. So
True.
there is, taking the action to show that you mean your apology, that you're doing better, that it is with intention, and it is with love, and do that consistently. And then the other person has to challenge their own thoughts and their own feelings when this happens. They can't immediately think, "So we're going back to the old ways," or at the slightest twinge. Sometimes we have to challenge ourselves to get over the hurt that someone has placed on us, if that's where we intend to go, if that's what we intend to do. And so, yes, these things are recoverable, but, know yourself, know the relationship, know your partner before you say whether you should or you should not be trying to get over these things and move forward. Or if you should. Are you committed, or is this a situationship?
Wow. That's powerful. Dr. Bertha, this conversation, I love it so much because, I don't think it's being talked about. And we unpacked a lot today. We unpacked a lot of information between relationships, trust, communication, money, our own demise. We talk about a lot of things. So I truly believe there is so much for Bertha Arise to really grab at this moment, for so many clients that can come your way, because they too need to be in a setting where they're able to hear, not just only for you. I look at you as an expert in the field of therapy, and I truly believe many of us need an expert in our ears, and that is who you are to me. Can you share with us a little bit about how we can connect back with with yourself, Dr. Bertha, on Facebook and your Instagram, as well as your Agent of Change website?
Okay, thank you. My Facebook page is at Bertha Arise, or you can reach Agent of Change at Agent of Change. I can always be emailed. My email address is agentofchange@verizon.net, or you can reach me at info@berthaarise.com. You can always just call me up if you choose to do that, or leave me a text or message at 240-346-0934. I am truly looking forward to hearing from everyone.
Wonderful. And Dr. Bertha, before we kind of close it in, what is one power word that we can leave with these ladies and gentlemen who are in the dating world, or even are in relationships right now, that we can kind of leave them with one, think about over the next few days?
One word?
Or power statement, I should say.
Oh, power statement? Mm-hmm. You have the authority to include yourself in the equation of life.
I love it. Can you repeat that one more time?
You have the authority, the right, and the authority to include yourself in the equation of life.
The equation of life. That is so amazing. I am loving that. Thank you so much. Again, we are so excited to be able to have Dr. Bertha and myself here. And I know for a fact that we have had a great conversation. Again, you can follow her at Bertha Arise and Agent of Change on both Instagram.com and also BerthaArise.com. You can continue to follow me on Facebook, Lisa S. Lambert, as well as Lambert Legacy Financial. As a financial consultant, I would love to continue to consult with you. You can consult with me. You can connect with me and get a complimentary consultation at LambertLegacyFinancial.com. We're on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do me a favor, don't forget to tune in. We thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen in on today. Thank you, Dr. Bertha, again for being on the air. We truly appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you for being here. And we know more is to come out of Dr. Bertha through Agent of Everyone. Please take care.
Thank you for listening to Women Emerge with Mellisa Lambert, where Mellisa speaks with leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. Follow Mellisa and Women Emerge Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at MELLISASLAMBERT and at Women Emerge Network, and visit www.womenemergenetwork.com. Remember, when you know better, you can do better, especially when God is for you.